Grab your tickets, get your carry-on, and get ready for a flight that is a lot longer than the standard 2.5-hour flight. Today, we'll be reviewing Manifest. Manifest is a television show that is centered around a flight that was about 2.5 hours, and when they got off, 5.5 years have passed.
5.5 years
which
later.
Is kind of like
don't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean nobody knows what's going on.
Like what?
Yeah. So what'd you think about this show?
This show was great.
I did, yeah.
Massive fan of this show. I thought this was an original idea. I have never even thought of anything like this.
Yeah.
Which was just amazing. It was very, very nice to see some new content.
Yeah, nice to see like you said, original idea, something you never thought of, something that was just like kind of out of the. It was just crazy. I think that the concept is really good. The setup is decent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, overall, the show, it definitely, I want to go into the next episode to see what's going on. But I'm going to be very picky. And so I'm going to kind of pick part. I'm not a big fan of the specific actors.
Which ones?
Like, all of them.
Any of them. Okay.
There's not any actor that I'm a fan of that I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's going to make me, or this girl or guy.
Mean, from what I understood, it was just a bunch of new actors.
Yeah, right.
I didn't see anyone I've seen before.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, maybe that's what it is. Kind of remind me of Freakish when we had, that was one of my things with Freakish. Nobody I remembered except for the dude from The Walking Dead, and even his acting was like subpar. But nobody here blew me away acting-wise.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, but again, and I'm going to keep reiterating this after every negative thing I say, still love the show.
Great show.
Bad acting, and I still want to watch it.
I didn't think it was bad acting.
It's terrible acting.
He's always wrong. So, one of the greatest things I thought about Manifest was the powers.
Towards the end?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, or the voice. Were they powers or were they voices?
I mean, they were whatever you want them to be.
No, it's not whatever you want it to be. It's either a power or voice.
So, now that Chavaras is done putting his input in, what I really liked about these powers was it gave new life to an already interesting plot.
Yeah, okay. Because here, this is why it needed that, is because it almost like used up the idea of them being gone for the last 5 years halfway through. So just FYI, this is like a 45-minute episode.
Yeah, it's
45-minute shows.
If you don't watch it on TV, which I believe it was on ABC,
something like that. I think
it was on one of the main channels.
Right.
You could watch it on Hulu.
Right.
It was on Hulu because Hulu is better than Netflix. Now.
We were talking about, you were saying, so what I'm saying is that they use up the idea of the 5 years being gone. Because they only focus on like a family and maybe one or two other people outside of the family, this very specific family of like a flight of maybe like 30-40 people.
Okay.
You kind of run out of story. You know what I'm saying? Like very quickly, boom, you already know and see the effects of this. Moms are dead, things of this nature, and then it's kind of used up, so they added in the little voices that were telling them stuff, I think, to help move along the story. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm just saying I think that's why they introduced that, because they could have focused on the entire flight, but because they only focus on a few people, it's like, well, the effects are there, and then that's it.
Yeah, I'll say the main thing I didn't like about the show was how quickly they seemed to get off of the fact that the plane was gone for 5.5 years. Like, they talk about it for about the first 20 minutes.
Right.
And then it's just about the family, like you were bringing up.
And the effects of the 5 years.
Yeah.
But they're trying to...
They're not talking about the plane ride.
Right.
Like, why no one on this plane seems to be freaking out on, why they were gone for so long.
Nobody aged, everybody kind of, like, was on pause, and they didn't feel anything except for, like, some turbulence or something like that. Massive turbulence as if they were going to... Turbulence. What was the other thing? And again, I'm picking this apart, but I'm still saying it's very good. The other thing I didn't like was the my main thing with this show and its originality and whatever, I think it would be a better movie.
See, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. The main reason I don't agree with it is.
Here we go.
I think there's so many ways in this show it could branch off. This could be the plane was abducted by aliens. Mm-hmm. It could be a government experiment gone wrong. Mm-hmm. It could amount to something like Heroes, where people have powers that they develop and the government starts hunting them, if that's what Heroes was about.
No, this is one of those TV shows that is much better a movie. You do not. They're going to try to extrapolate or elongate something that could be told in 2 hours over the next 13 hours or even more if they go into season 2. And this is just one of those things that just way better a movie. It's told that even in this first episode, they already run out of stuff in this first family of effects from the 5 years that they have to give them voices in their head. There you go.
Well, viewers, that is for you to decide.
It is really for you to decide, but it's still a good show, and I think it's worth a watch. And it's you're definitely gonna want to go into episode 2. So, what did you rate this?
What I would rate this show, I would put it at a 4.0.
A 4.0? You give it a solid 4.0?
4.0 to start off.
Okay. I would definitely say 3.0.
3? Ooh, wow.
I would say 3.0. I just, there wasn't any, the other thing too is I like pretty faces to look at. Like the main chick, she was not. She was
pretty attractive.
She had like a dude face. Like she had
What's
very
wrong with that?
strong face.
And with that, this has been Shortsighted TV. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any recommendations for us in the future, please comment below.
Like and subscribe.
This has been a short-sighted look at the show Manifest.